What's up, everyone? It's your girl Shay here. I'm back with another video for you guys, and welcome back to episode 2 of Nerd News. And for the segments I'm going to go over for this week's Nerd News, I'm going to give an update on the whole Sony Disney Spider-Man update. I'm also going to talk about Carole Tuesday. And I'm also going to talk about the audio leaks that happened through Funimation that happened this past weekend. But first, let's talk about this Sony and Disney update. And to be honest, there isn't really much of an update. It is still in limbo whether or not Spider-Man is going to be joining the MCU. And a lot of people have been discussing that Sony and Disney are currently supposedly still in negotiations, but it has been kind of confirmed that the previous statement of there being a new deal where there's 7 films for Spider-Man, with 2 of them being Avengers movies, is completely, or seems to be completely false at this moment. So far, Tom Holland actually seems to think that Sony might do pretty well with having Spider-Man in their own hands, and as many of us kind of feel, we honestly don't think so, but we honestly won't know for sure. It has also been confirmed that actually Disney has until mid-2020 to actually come up with the new deal regarding Spider-Man, only because around that time they'll probably be starting to film Spider-Man 3. And also, there does seem to have been some sort of confirmation that Spider-Man will actually appear in the Disney Plus show What If. Although Tom Holland was not actually named as being someone who is going to voice their character in this series, it probably most likely is going to be the case, though, considering the fact that RDJ and also Chris Evans, neither one of them were also named to actually voice their characters either in Disney Plus's Marvel's What If. So that might be the only time we'll probably see Spider-Man within the MCU currently, although I am still hoping and praying that the negotiations will make it where Spider-Man will stay in the MCU. But I will continue to keep you guys updated with this story. Now, on to the next segment, which is actually a little bit better, which is talking about Carole Tuesday, which is this new anime that has actually just came out on Netflix. And right now I'm going to read you guys the synopsis of what Carole Tuesday is pretty much about. So what it's about is 50 years have passed since mankind began migrating to the new frontier, Mars. It's an age where most culture is produced by AI and people are content to be passive consumers. There's a girl scrapping a living in the metropolis of Alba City. She's working part-time while trying to become a musician. She's always felt like something is missing. Her name is Carole. There's a girl born to a wealthy family in the provincial town of Herschel City. She dreams of becoming a musician, but nobody around her understands. She feels like the loneliest person in the world. Her name is Tuesday. A chance meeting brings them together. They want to sing. They want to make music together. They feel like they just might have a chance. The two of them may only create a tiny wave, but that wave will eventually grow into something larger. Now, so far, I've heard nothing but good things about this anime, and there's been a lot of hype surrounding it, and I honestly cannot wait to actually watch it. Currently, I'm still trying to finish Cannon Busters, and I only have a few episodes left, and then right over that, I'm jumping right into Carole Tuesday. And if you are interested in checking it out, it is currently on Netflix, and it's about 24 episodes long, and there is a subbed and a dubbed version. So if you're someone who's not a fan of dubs, they do have it subtitled, and if you're someone like me that actually enjoys dubs, definitely check out the dub version. But I've heard nothing but good things about it. Now, getting into the segment or the biggest news of this weekend, and that's regarding the audio leaks that happened from Funimation. Now, it was leaked on Nick Reika's YouTube channel, who is he does a lot of law splaining. And these audios were linked where basically the voice actors for the Dragon Ball Z series were pretty much having fun voicing their characters in a joking manner, but there was a lot of slurs kind of used, as well as I don't want to say pornographic, but it kind of was like that kind of a way. And it was kind of a very sexual nature regarding quite a few of the characters in this entire series. And people were in an uproar about it. And when I say an uproar, I mean people were highly, highly upset regarding this entire fiasco. Now, from what I was able to research, it does seem that the audio recordings were recorded during the time of 2002 to 2009. So most of these recordings are stemming from 10 plus years ago. And it doesn't really seem like people are upset regarding what was actually voiced in the recordings. They seem to be more upset regarding Funimation Studios itself, considering they are actually in an ongoing legal battle with Vic Mignogna because of the fact that he allegedly sexually harassed not only a few coworkers, but also a few fans at conventions. And at this point, they are currently in a legal battle concerning defamation of character, not regarding the sexual harassment at this current time. And it doesn't seem also that neither the Funimation voice actors or Funimation or even Toei have came forward talking about anything regarding these voice recordings. Although I did read something somewhere that the voice actors involved have already apologized for these voice recordings, although I wasn't able to find an actual source where they were able to actually link to anything that actually showed them apologizing. But this doesn't mean they didn't apologize. It just means there might not be anything out there, especially if these did happen between 2002 and 2009, considering the internet was very, very different back then compared to how it is now currently in 2019. And I honestly have to say, because I already put it out there on my Twitter regarding how I feel about these recordings, and I feel that if these recordings had have been released back then on as big a scale as they've been released now, I don't think people would have been as upset regarding these recordings, considering the fact that most people are upset regarding Vic Mignogna and kind of feel like this is kind of Funimation being done in, and that seems to be where most of the anger is stemming from. It's not stemming from the recordings themselves, it's stemming from the treatment of Vic Mignogna when he was let go or fired from Funimation Studios. For me, like I mentioned, I feel that these recordings would have been released later or earlier and this whole court proceeding wasn't going on, people actually would have found these recordings mildly hilarious. Although I will say the use of slurs in the recordings may or do actually pose an issue, but I still feel that it's because of a different day and age of when these recordings were actually recorded, and now, since a lot of slurs now are not considered okay, whereas back then they might have been a little bit more, I don't want to say well received, but still came over as jokes and actually pretty funny. Although once again, I am not condoning anything that these voice actors have said. I'm just saying my thoughts and feelings about it. So all of you guys who are I stand with Vic, do not come for me in my comments because you already know at this point I'm not talking about the case. I'm talking about how I feel regarding these recordings, and this is just my entire opinion. And once again, it's an opinion. You can have your opinion. If you disagree, whatever, but I still feel it wouldn't be a big uproar if this would have came out without the proceedings of the whole law case with Vic. But like always, comment down below your thoughts on anything that I've talked about already below. Once again, I stand with Vic people or kick Vic people. Don't come for me in the comments. I just voiced my opinion. I'm just reporting on what I've actually seen online and what I've seen via Twitter and what I've seen a lot of you guys talk about. Anyway, that is my video. I have another video off you guys on Saturday. My battery's about to die, so be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Links below to all my social media accounts, my Instagram, my Twitter, my blog as well. And I will see you guys Saturday with a new video. All right, you guys. Bye.